It turns out those words weren't just talk. Two rappers affiliated with O-Block, Munna Duke and O-Block's Youngin, were recently gunned down just miles from home. But that's not even the wildest part. The alleged shooter is now speaking out, and he's connecting their deaths all the way back to the 2020 murder of King Von. So, what does King Von have to do with all this? Let's break it down. The tragedy shook O-Block, a neighborhood in Chicago, long known as a hotspot in the city's ongoing gang wars. The streets of Chirac have been a war zone for years, with rival sets and ops constantly at odds. The drill music scene has often reflected, and some argue intensified, these deadly beefs. O-Block, located on the 6400 block of South Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, has been at the center of this chaos, producing some of the most iconic drill rappers while also suffering devastating losses. Between 2011 and 2014, the area saw at least 19 shootings and 2 deaths. While violence has reportedly declined, down 52% over the past decade in the broader area, the cycle remains vicious. On May 10, 2025, that cycle continued with deadly consequences. Around 1:20 a.m., a shooting occurred in the Edgewater neighborhood, on the 6300 block of North Broadway. The victims were Munna Duke, 31, and Youngin, also known as Youngin Fram Jets, 26. Both were rising voices in the O-Block drill scene. A third victim, a 36-year-old man, was shot in the back but survived. Munna Duke, whose real name was reportedly Omar Cunningham, was gaining recognition in Chicago's rap scene, known for his debut track 12 a.m. He had strong ties to King Von and was considered part of Von's inner circle. In a dramatic twist, Duke had recently become a father with Fat Banks, the ex-partner of D. Thang, the late brother of rapper Lil Durk. That web of personal and professional connections adds yet another layer to this already complex and violent landscape. Youngin, also known as Youngin 2 Jets, was respected for his gritty lyrics and dedication to telling the real story of life in O-Block. He too was close to King Von and was working to carry on O-Block's drill legacy, gaining fans before his life was cut short. The killing shocked the community. Reports say the shooting happened as people were leaving a late-night restaurant. The shooter pulled up in a stolen Infiniti Q50, which was later found torched on the city's far south side near East 134th Place, suggesting the hit was planned and carried out by experienced perpetrators. The deliberate nature of the attack has sparked intense speculation about who was behind it and why. Fat Banks, Duke's grieving partner, shared an emotional tribute on Instagram, calling him her light in the darkness and promising to stay strong for their son. Her post captured the pain and heartbreak left behind, another reminder of the human cost of this violence. The wider drill community quickly reacted. Social media was flooded with tributes, disbelief, and sorrow. Popular pages like I'll No Jumper and a gang hits posted about the incident, with one noting that O-Block has been getting wiped out since Von died. It highlighted how the cycle of violence has only intensified in the years since King Von's death. But perhaps the most talked about aspect of the tragedy is the speculation over motives and connections to older feuds. Theories quickly surfaced, suggesting that Duke and Youngin's deaths were retaliation for the 2020 murder of FBG Duck, a prominent rapper from the rival Tukaville set. In January 2024, 6 O-Block members were convicted for Duck's murder, marking a major blow in the ongoing war between the Black Disciples, O-Block, and the Gangster Disciples, Tukaville. One popular YouTube video even claims that Duke and Youngin were targeted as part of that same vendetta, pointing to Tukaville or its allies as the likely culprits. Given the long history of tit-for-tat violence between these groups, the theory doesn't seem far-fetched. To make matters worse, alleged members of Tukaville have reportedly mocked the deaths online. A clip from Reddit shows someone saying, "Beans and bologna, I put their act up there on folks." A cruel jab that's unfortunately all too common in gang beefs. In an even stranger twist, a known figure named 607 Unk released a video speaking on the murders. In it, he references Duke and Youngin and cryptically hints at more violence to come. particularly mentioning Only the Family, OTF, a music collective connected to both victims and Lil Durk.
Situation happened late last night in Chicago. Munna Duke and Youngin. Yeah. What's going on here?
While 67 seems to be on a different wavelength, his words reflect the harsh reality of gang violence and the endless cycle of retaliation that has claimed countless lives in Chicago. The connection to King Von and the speculation surrounding NBA Youngboy bring a deeper layer to the story. To understand the current situation, we need to rewind to King Von's death, a moment that altered the drill music scene forever. Devon. Daquan Bennett, better known as King Von, was shot and killed on November 6, 2020, outside a nightclub in Atlanta following an album release party for Welcome to O'Block. The shooter Lul Tim was associated with Quando Rondo, an artist signed to NBA Youngboy's label, Never Broke Again. Von was shot multiple times and died after undergoing surgery at Grady Memorial Hospital. The shooter's connection to Youngboys. Circle immediately fueled speculation about the rapper's potential involvement, though no direct evidence ever confirmed Youngboy had any role in Von's death. Still, the tension between both camps was real, and Von's close ties to figures like Muwop, Munna Duke, and Youngin meant his loss sent shockwaves through O'Block. Fans have speculated that the murders of Munna Duke and Youngin may be part of an ongoing vendetta tied to Von's death. Both were closely connected to him. Duke was like family, and Youngin was seen as carrying on Von's legacy. Some believe that if their killers were from rival factions like Tukaville, they likely had knowledge of Von's murder and its gang implications. While online theories link NBA Youngboy to the deaths, there is no verified evidence to support claims that he orchestrated or funded these hits. The drive-by shooting of Munna Duke and Youngin on May 10, 2025 in Chicago, using a stolen and later burned Infiniti Q50, has all the hallmarks of local gang violence, not a hit coordinated by an out-of-state artist under heavy scrutiny. The 5-year gap between Von's death and the recent killings also makes a direct connection unlikely. Law enforcement and community researchers believe the violence is more rooted in long-standing rivalries between O'Block's Black Disciples and rival sets like the Gangster Disciples from Tukaville or Smashville. Additional speculation points to personal drama, such as Munna Duke allegedly fathering a child with the ex-partner of Lil Durk's late brother. But again, there's no credible connection between this and Lil Durk's unrelated legal issues in Los Angeles. Community voices like O'Block native J Hood have tried to redirect attention toward the root causes of this violence. Though he hasn't commented directly on Munna Duke or Youngin, his messaging often highlights the futility of gang life and the tragic cycle of loss that follows. The investigation into the double homicide continues. Shell casings, surveillance footage, and the burned getaway vehicle are critical leads. Police have made no arrests, and the shooters remain at large. The methodical execution of the shooting points to experienced individuals familiar with evading law enforcement. The broader Chicago community, especially those following the drill scene, is reeling. Violence in neighborhoods like Edgewater is surging, already surpassing 2024's total shootings by May 2025. Yet, while Woodlawn, home to O'Block, has seen some crime reduction due to initiatives by groups like Project Hood, the killings of Duke and Youngin prove the battle isn't over. Programs like FLIP, Flatlining Violence Inspires Peace, and community leaders such as James Highsmith are working to disrupt the cycle through hospital interventions, support for victims' families, and peace-building efforts. The symbolic renaming of O'Block to Opportunity Block reflects a desire to change the narrative, but change is slow and difficult. King Von's legacy, the continuing gang tensions, and the speculation around hip-hop beefs, real or imagined, have kept this story alive. But beyond the headlines and lyrics lies a grim reality. Young men like Munna Duke and Youngin are dying in a cycle that shows no sign of stopping.